Hey guys, we're here with a special guest today, Darian, who just finished top 4 at the North American Remote Duel YCS with Unchained Magical Musketeer Fiendsmith. We actually recently did a profile. You got a regional top. Obviously, this deck is going pretty well for you. What are your thoughts now after this event?
Yeah, this deck is a lot of fun for sure. It has some pretty good matchups. One of them being Ubel, Tenpai, and regular Snake Eyes, or Snake Eyes Fiendsmith as Amino, or Snake Eyes just as Amino. But Fire King is definitely worth matchup, and I definitely dodged a bunch of those. I think I only played 2 or 3 this weekend.
Awesome. Well, let's just get right into the list then.
Cool. So starting off, we have the Unchained engine. So we have Aruha, Sarama, Shibara, Sayama, and the new addition today I didn't play at Toronto was Abominable. Sorry. This card was really good for the Tenpai matches. Because let's say they shifter me and I don't want to commit too many cards, I can just normal summon Aruha and set Escape. If they Raigeki me, that's fine because I'll just summon like a Sarama. And then when they eventually attack over this, I can summon the Abominable in damage step and pop the Chundra, and they won't be able to quick sync. Especially under Shifter, it'll be hard for them to get a second one out. Yeah, I thought that was a really good, and it was worth playing for me. I wanted to play Curry Photon in the side, but I actually didn't get it in time. So I'm still glad this came up though. And then we just have typical 3 prison to search any of these cards or one of the traps. 2 chamber, 1 escape. Most combos I like to end on escape, but if you get interrupted, you might need to use your Yama, so you'll have to go chamber. But you don't really. A lot of times you make that decision later because you'll have access to both. But if you only have to access one and you don't know, I always just go for chamber. Play it safe. Yeah, that's it for Unchained. This was definitely the most fun part, but this is also what makes it like the worst into Fire King because Fire King doesn't destroy, doesn't care about all the destructions. The next engine is the Fiendsmith engine. This is the same as Toronto. 1 Lakuma, 1 Lurie, 3 Engraver, 1 Sanct, and 3 Truck. Yeah, not much to say. These cards are just like insanely good. A lot of extension, a lot of follow up. Yeah, not much to say. Everyone knows these cards. There was a game I got drolled, and impermed on sequence and all that stuff, and I didn't have access to an engraver. So I was able to I don't even remember exactly what it was. It's been a long weekend, but like this engine just helped me get so far, through like 2-3 interruptions. This engine's like best pair is definitely the musket cards, which are going to be the 3 Starfire and 1 Calamity. A lot of people still don't know what these do. A lot of people were ashing Starfire today, Dominus Impulsing Starfire today. It honestly doesn't really do much. It just gets out Calamity. So this one, if a spell trap is activated in its column, it summons 1 from deck, which is going to be Calamity. Calamity will summon from grave. These also give you access to Max, which threatens a lot on the board to have to impermit, and all that good stuff. So yeah, Musket with the Fiendsmith, I definitely recommend everyone try this out. That's it for like the engines. For the non-engine, I decided to play Ash this time, just to help me give me a better game 1 if I get Fuad, so I have a chance. In Toronto, I just played Fenrir, and I just kind of, if I do that and I just play Fenrir, set Imperm or something like that, I feel like it wasn't enough. So I'd rather have the Ash to just play through the Fua, or if I'm going second, for example, at least have a way to cut off certain things. Like against Fire King, you can cut off their Azamina access. You can sort of cut off their Snake Eyes access. Against like Fiendsmith Snake Eye, you can cut off Requiem. So it helps give them a lot weaker end boards. That's where I like to Ash. I wouldn't Ash like Bonfire or anything like that, even though I know sometimes it can be pretty good. I'd rather just cut off like the bridges to the different engines, so the end board is different than I have to deal with. Yeah, so Ash was really good for me today. And then Mulch Army, obviously best card in the deck, especially if you're playing breakers, you have multiple. It's definitely gonna go well for you for sure. Then triple thrust, double tactics, 1 called by, triple droplet, 1 imperm. Yeah, not much to say about these. Tactics was really, really good for me today. well, over the weekend, sorry. A lot of people were like ashing Starfire or doing things like that early. So I could tactics them early. Yeah, I got Nibiru'd a couple times actually, so I was able to thrust into Triple T, look at their hand, and then Reborn from Grave, link off their Nib, and still end on Escape Rage, with a big token. One of my feature matches actually got nibbed, and I was still able to OTK through it. So, I think that was round 9. If anyone wants to take a look at that. Yeah, and then there's Droplet Imperm. Something I really like about Droplet is that you can send that Desiree that you've already negated with, and it's an additional interruption on top of the negate. So, yeah, love Droplet. Imperm just for a thrust target going first if I don't have any Unchained and I don't want to get like Escape or anything. Yeah, that's it for the main deck. Anything I would change? Honestly, maybe I'd cut Droplet or something and play like Droll in the main, or something else to play more hand traps. Just because I need a better matchup into Fire King. Overall, it was really fun. I only breaked once or twice. So to go into the extra deck, we have the Unchained, so Abomination. I was able to break a full cash board, so Cashier Prep, Birth, Fenrir, Ogre, Shang. Through Shifter by using the muskets to get up to Yama, to get up to Anguish, Anguish linking this off, Anguish linking off their Shang to get to this. Like in the middle of that, Sayama popped their preparations, things like that. So it was really good for me. That one game I think it was the only game I summoned it, but like it definitely won it for me. And then Anguish, obviously, link off your opponent monsters. Rage, the main piece of the end board, also helps you get back like Engraver from Grave, Sarvara, because you can also Sarvara target Desiree for another additional interruption. Just make sure you've already raised at that point because once the Char's on the board, you're fiend locked. Then double Yama. I might actually try to bump this up to 3. There was 1 or 2 games where I went into double Yama turn 1 because I wanted to set Escape, but I needed to use Yama and Grave to get out Caesar, and there was kind of ways for me to get out a second Yama and then still end on my usual board. So third Yama, sorry, might be something that I consider. Yeah, I never actually did it because I only have 2 and I needed the second one for follow up. So definitely want to try a third. Next is Max. Musket link 1. Special summon from deck up to the number of spell traps your opponent controls. Like even just saying that, it's definitely crazy. How many times did I resolve it? Maybe 2-3 times. A lot of the time I'm using Starfire first to summon Calamity out anyway, so it's only summoning 1 extra body. But in case they don't know what the deck does and they Imperm Calamity and I go into this and I can summon 2, broken. Yeah, and then Fiendsmith, Requiem, End Day, Sequence, Desiree, Aerial Eater, Typhon. Oops. Yeah, that's it for Fiendsmith. Something that came out today is I got triple hand trapped against Cash, and I was able to go into End Day, summon out Engraver from Grave, equip Sequence, equip Requiem. So I was sitting on a Engraver that was boosted by 36, and my opponent was in a simple game state where he couldn't kill me. And then the next turn, I had enough follow up to combo from there. So it was pretty funny when I did that. Then just for the extra guys, Caesar, one of my favorite cards for sure. Typhon. You actually attack lock yourself when you use Thanks. So sometimes you can just summon Typhon over access code, so you can still attack with it. Speaking of access code, and then SP for Rage. Yeah, extra deck was good. Just maybe third Yama. Cool. Side deck. One big thing I changed from Toronto to the remote was that I added in Droll. So for Droll, what I really wanted to do was obviously better Fire King matchup. Game 2 and 3, I would actually side it in going first. So if I get Charmed, I would just Droll myself and continue to play. Yeah, I did that once or twice. I think I won both games. I honestly don't remember, but yeah, even if I was able to set up full board and I had Droll in my hand, yeah, it's just an extra piece for sure. I think that was good for me. And then triple Aurelia. Not much to say about that one. Against Cash, I started out Fua and just put this in because Fua is not doing anything. Soul Release for Fire King. Unfortunately, didn't get to thrust into this, but in theory, it's pretty good. Then I'll go Ultimate Slayers and the 2 targets, Entis and Malong. This was still a good card for me because I played a lot of regular Snake Eyes Azamina Fiendsmith or just Snake Eyes Azamina. So Ultimate Slayer bouncing back Silvera and then sending Entis. It turns off their engine for the rest of the game because they can never get their fusion spell back. And then Entis forcing something else out early was really good. If I didn't want my opponent to know what I was siding, I actually didn't side in this Entis once, and I went to Desiree. I just decided I would go send Desiree, and then Desiree shuffle back a Link 1 later on. Yeah, because I wasn't sure what he was on, but I had an idea that he was on Snake Eyes. So if I was wrong, I could just Ultimate Slayer send like a Link monster or Exceed or anything. But if I was right, I could still have the option to just send Desiree. I didn't want to like side out the extra card in case I was wrong. Yeah, Malong for Centurion. Did not play any Centurion, and then the last 3 cards, 2 different Dimension Bearer and 1 DDG. I think I only thrusted for these twice. DDG in top 16, D Barrier in top 4 against Tempai, the guy who won that game, but I got absolutely demolished game 1 and 3. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for the profile. Huge congrats. Once again, any last shoutouts?
Yeah, just shout out again everyone in this picture. And shout out to Hamza. He also topped this event. Top 32, first YCS top for both of us. Yeah, congrats to him. So yeah, Hamza, Kareem, Emad, Yusuf, my brother Derek, Mert, Justin, Luca and Chris for sending me messages being like supportive and stuff like that. And also can't forget Chair.
Awesome. Thank you.